Part 24. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 231. Ying Cixi laughed sarcastically, put down the peanuts in her hand, and slowly rolled up her sleeves to retort one by one, "Your family's account will be enlarged. Okay, just think that I owe you 1,050. Then you can calculate my debt first of all. If you didn't cause my mother to have a difficult labor, why would I want to drink your sister-in-law's milk? This is what you owe me. Anyway, I don't remember when I was sick. In addition, I live in my grandparents' house, why do I pay rent? So we're even." She said, "One more thing, you owe my mother your life." I said, "I will beat you every time I see you." "You forgot again, right? Yes or no?" She threw Siequilin down and slapped him in the face wildly. If murder was not illegal, she would be the first to kill this woman. The two brothers saw this and tried to help. Qin Yan said a dozen words. Ying Cixi took care of Siequilin, helped Qin Yanzi hold her face down, and then sat on her second cousin's neck. I can't breathe." "You will die if you can't breathe," Ying Cixi said. "Grandpa and Grandma's house is given to you. I used to do all the work in your house. I don't care about it. You still want mine. You are beautiful." The word did not come out of my mouth. She was dragged up by Qin Yanzi. "You are not allowed to sit on him, you can only sit on me." Ying Cixi, "He's crazy, he's fighting," he said this. Ying Shijian stamped his feet. "Why do you hit us as soon as we meet? How could you be like this? Who told you to take advantage of me? I will leave my words here today. I will come back later. I wish Grandma will lose a hair, and I will set your house on fire." Ying Cixi left with the peanuts. Qin Yanzi followed closely, passing by the second son of the Ying family, and kicked him into the field. The second child uttered an ouch and was covered in mud. "My mother, this guy's legs are stronger than Ying Cixi's. They both love to hit people." Qin Yanzi couldn't understand what Ying Lao said. But when the other party mentioned Ying Cixi's name, he understood and turned back to glare at him. Ying Lao shrank his shoulders in fear. "Mom, what should we do next? What should we do? Go home and think of some ideas. 3 cobblers are better than Zhujiang, but I don't believe that the 5 of us can't defeat 2 of them." Ying Cixi and Qin Yanzi found the old man's house. From a distance, I heard children crying and adults scolding me from the yard. After approaching, step into the courtyard. Male, female, old and young, a family of 5 or 6. When I saw Ying Cixi and Qin Yanzi, I thought they were relatives from somewhere. After thinking for a long time, I didn't remember that I had such decent and elegant relatives. Shaking hands together awkwardly. "We are Grandma Zhu's granddaughter and grandson-in-law." Ying Cixi explained her purpose. "These things will be returned to you. There's no point in returning a gift if you give it away." The old man pushed and refused to accept it. Ying Cixi put it on the ground, and several children came to grab it. The old man couldn't even reach out to hit him when he scolded him. The children dispersed in a hurry. "I heard from people in your village that your grandma has no children. My father just found her because he wanted to give her someone to rely on in her later years. Since you are the granddaughter, you should think about your grandma," the man said as if he was remembering. "You're not called Ying Cixi, are you?" Only Ying Cixi fits the villager's description of a beautiful woman. He instantly felt confident. "You are not her granddaughter, so what qualifications do you have to decide for her? Whose granddaughter, I say, is that granddaughter? My grandma made it clear that she doesn't want to be with your dad. How do I know the location of your home? Don't disturb her next time, otherwise I will tell the village chief." Ying Cixi finished conveying and left. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 232. The old man was worried. He finally found a helpless, strong, and capable old lady, and planned to let her come to the house to take charge of the housework. With such a mess, who would do all the things in his house? Ying Sisi should return to Mrs. place after finishing her work. The old lady has already boiled hot water and Sisi should wash herself and go to bed. Qin Yancy was unfamiliar with the new environment. He tossed and turned, sometimes raising Ying Sisi's head to let her rest on his arm, and sometimes letting her rest on his chest. Nothing felt right. The wooden bed made a sound whenever it was moved. Made him more and more irritable. The old lady cleared her throat. Sisi, you too, don't bother me. I'm so old and I can't hear this creaking sound. Ying Sisi fell asleep in a daze. When she heard the old lady's voice, she opened her eyes, raised her head and responded to the outside. Grandma, what did you say? She yawned. There were no lights in the room. After her eyes adapted to the darkness, with the moonlight outside the window, you can see clearly inside. Seeing that Qin Yancy was sleeping too, she simply got up and went out. Grandma, let me sleep with you. The old lady then realized that she had misunderstood. I am used to living alone. Ying Sisi opened the quilt and got in. I was woken up by you and couldn't fall asleep. Do you want to listen to my experience in the city? Speak. Ying Sisi started from selling dry goods to discovering the utopia, selling aquatic products, selling stamps and copper coins, and finally buying a house. The old lady listened with interest, changed her mind and said, I'd better go to the city, but I will live there soon. If you become a businessman of hair growth cream, you will definitely come back to dig for materials, right? When will you come back to get hair growth cream? When will I come back with you? Okay, Ying Sisi welcomed her very much. Would you be unhappy if I met your biological father? Ying Sisi remained silent. The old lady said, my house used to have no yard and it was leaking. Fortunately, I knew your father and helped me repair the roof and build the wall. He is kind to me, so I can't pretend not to know him when I come to Beijing. Why is he here? Ying Sisi regretted it after asking. Forget it, I don't want to know either. The old lady continued, I don't know, it seems like he was arresting someone. He had a companion at the time, and the two of them lived at my place. Your mother often came to my place, and she got to know them. Your father is good looking, but your mother always gets in touch with others. I don't know when the two of us got together behind my back. When I found out, your dad had already left and your mom said she was pregnant with you. I don't have a good reputation, and she still has a big belly here, which makes me angry. Fortunately, it's all over. The only flaw is that your mother is no longer here. If she were here, she probably wouldn't be able to bear the fact that you and your daughter are strangers. Doesn't he still have a companion? He has lost his memory. Where is his companion? Why not remind him? Ying Sisi said tangledly. Your father is almost dead, so naturally your companion is also gone. Ying Sisi pursed her lips and said, don't always speak for him, his biological sister hid her mother's existence, and she denied him, so he was wronged. Okay, I won't say any more. The old lady thought she had finished what she needed to say, so she closed her mouth, closed her eyes and slept seriously. Ying Sisi couldn't sleep. Every time I think of Shen Yushan, I mention her. She just wanted to cry. At the same time, Xiequilin, who lives in the West End, sat on the bed with her legs crossed and asked everyone to come up with good ideas to get money from Ying Sisi. Last time the person named Li came, we didn't talk to him, and we didn't get a penny of benefit. Now it's a duck in the mouth, we can't let it fly anymore. There's no need to be reasonable this time, but those two people are going to do it. My body hurts everywhere. Ying Laoer was the most seriously injured. At this time, he grinned, oh, my waist, they also stained me. I had no clothes to wear and could only wrap myself up in a quilt. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 233. Speaking of clothes. Ying Ceci's outfit is envied by Ying Ceci, the third eldest child in the Ying family. The style is something she has never seen before. It is fashionable and noble. If she wears it for a blind date, she will definitely pick a good match. She rolled her eyes and said, "Mom, my cousin will definitely visit my aunt's grave when she comes back. Why don't we ask a skilled dancer to perform a ritual for my aunt, so that the goddess and her aunt can communicate with each other, and then tell my cousin that my aunt wants my cousin to be filial? Isn't it okay for you and Dad?" Siequilin's eyes shone. "Hey. This is a good idea. She doesn't listen to other people's words, but she will definitely listen to her mother's words. I will contact the goddess at dawn tomorrow to discuss this matter." After making up their mind, the family rested separately and started to dance the great god early the next morning. Ying Ceci also got up early, put on ordinary clothes, and asked Qin Yanxi to change too. "This is the first time I see someone dressing up like a poor person when visiting a friend." Ying Ceci smiled with her eyes bent. "I was thinking of myself. When I first entered the city, Li Yue was so well dressed and I was so tacky. Every time I saw her, I always felt uncomfortable for a while. I didn't want to make my playmates unhappy." Qin Yanxi reached out and touched her head. "You are right, I will listen to you." "Yeah." The old lady listened to the conversation between the two and rolled her eyes silently. After breakfast, Ying Ceci led Qin Yan to say goodbye and brought gifts to visit her sister Ding Xia, who had grown up together. After walking for half an hour, Qin Yanxi glanced away. A person is in a field in the mountains. The front does not touch the village, and the back does not touch the ground. "Daughter-in-law, how far is it? Are you sure you're not going the wrong way?" "That's right, it's almost an hour's walk away." She married in a relatively remote place. Qin Yanxi's eyesight has been opened in the past 2 days. No wonder Shen Yushan couldn't find him. He had no memory loss and couldn't remember the twists and turns of the road. If the daughter-in-law abandons herself, he really didn't know how to get out. Ying Ceci added, "She is still on her own. I heard that the man has the habit of petty theft. I advise her not to get married. Firstly, most people who can steal are lazy and lazy. Secondly, it is difficult for children to go to school. Hard work." She refused to listen. Her family members couldn't persuade her. As expected, the good times did not last long. After only 3 months of marriage, the man attacked her. The reason was that she came back late from the market and met a gangster. Her partner did not settle the score with the gangster, but blamed her for being unruly. I wanted to avenge her, but she actually disagreed and said that she was also wrong. Do you think she was stupid? Qin Yanxi, it's hard to say, maybe she likes to be beaten. Isn't that Li Yue? The first time you suffered a loss in his hands, you won't be able to remember it for long. He defined it as, she liked his fists. Ying Ceci, nervous, who would like to be beaten? The two of them walked away chatting. Ying Ceci recognized Ding Xia standing next to the wall and chatting with someone from a distance. The other party was dressed like a peasant woman and had a child on her back. Sister Xiaxia. Ying Ceci called her name affectionately. Ding Xia and several women looked up. "Xiao Ding, who are those two? They are so handsome." Ding Xia looked at it for several seconds before recognizing it, and waved happily. "Si." She trotted forward. "Si, long time no see, when did you come back?" "Yesterday." Ying Ceci couldn't wait to introduce Qin Yanxi. Qin Yan greeted generously, "Hello." Ding Xia raised her eyes and met the young man's cold gaze. She looked away a little embarrassed and said, "Hello, follow me into the house and sit down." Yang Sisi followed her. "Are you the only one at home?" Ding Xia was embarrassed and angry. "We are all at home, my partner and my parents-in-law haven't gotten up yet." Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 234. Yang Sisi looked shocked. "It must be 10 o'clock now, right? Even if there is no farm work, I can't sleep until now. This family is too lazy." "Not hungry?" she said distressedly. "Are you tired of raising 2 children by yourself? Where is the older one?" "I'm used to it. The boss is playing at someone else's house." Ding Xia called the child's name loudly. "Deu." The child soon appeared, jumping and running this way. Ding Xia pulled him to recognize her. "Call me auntie." "Aunt." Yang Sisi reached out and pinched his face. "He's grown so tall. I'm almost 3 years old." Ding Xia smiled and led Sisi and Sisi back home. Few strangers entered the village, and everyone looked around curiously. "Xiao Ding, where are you related from?" "The playmate from my mother's side is called Sisi. This is her partner, whose surname is Qin." "I remembered. I came here before. I haven't found a partner yet when I was 18 or 19 years old. How can I get married so soon? Where is the partner?" Ding Xia didn't know the origin of Qin Yanxi, but she knew that Yang Sisi was found by her biological father in the city, and the target must be from the city. "She is from Yanjing, right Sisi?" I thought everyone in the city was rich, but looking at their clothes, they are similar to us." Yang Sisi said with a smile, "Our conditions are not very good." Ding Xia was careful and found that Yang Sisi's hands were white and tender. In addition, she carried so many things, so she concluded that Yang Sisi lived a good life. "I dress plainly on purpose because I'm afraid I'll borrow money." She pursed her lips and said, "Sisi, what does your partner do?" "She is studying, not doing anything." "College students." "It can't be calculated now," Yang Sisi said. "I will write to you when I officially become a college student." "Okay," Ding Xia said. "How are you living in the city? Is your father treating you well?" "No, he's not my father anymore," Yang Sisi said. Ding Xia thought that in response to Sic's angry words, she didn't mention it anymore. She brought a stool and said, "Sit down." Okay, Yang Sisi sat down and chatted with her. After the neighbors left, she took out the clothes she bought for Ding Xia. "These are for you." Ding Xia saw that it was clothes and the material was of good quality, so she quickly rejected them. "It's too expensive, so I can't use them." "Here, it's my little thought. This time I see that you are thinner than before. I bought the clothes according to my body shape. It may be a bit big. If it doesn't fit, you can change it yourself," Yang Sisi said. Ding Xia's eyes were red with emotion. "Sisi, you treat me so well. I really miss the old days, when it was just the two of us, playing around. Now that we have children, it's inconvenient." Yang Sisi also expressed emotion. "Yeah, it's hard to even meet her now." "When did you get married? Are you married yet?" Ding Xia suddenly asked. "Not yet. You have to hurry up, my boss can even make soy sauce." Yang Sisi smiled. "I'm not in a hurry." She took out 2 red envelopes sealed in advance, for the children. "I've already collected the clothes, how can I ask for your red envelope?" Ding Xia firmly refused to accept it. "Xiaxia, take it, don't waste Sisi's heart." Ding Xia's partner Wang Zhejian yawned, took the red envelope from Yang Sisi's hand and stuffed it into Ding Xia's hand. Ding Xia shrank her hand. He said, "I'll keep it for the children." He glanced at the gifts on the table in the courtyard, and smiled flatteringly at Yang Sisi. "Sisi, your partner is a good match for you." He asked again, "Qin Yanxi, brother, do you know how to drink? Let's have a drink together." He turned to Ding Xia and asked Ding Xia to prepare the food and drinks. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 235. Ding Xia felt ashamed and panicked. She accepted the red envelope in front of the person she was dating. After the person left, shouldn't they say we are greedy for cheap? Hence, it was difficult for her to talk to Wang Zhejian because outsiders were around. He could only respond, "Hey, you just brought 2 kilograms of pork." "Buy pork, our family doesn't have meat tickets, so we can't buy meat at a high price. How can we have so much money?" Ding Xia's mother-in-law walked out while combing her hair. The mouth is full of yellow teeth, and the smell wafts far away when he speaks. She heard her excitedly say, "Yo. Si also brought so many things, what is this?" Ying Sisi covered her nose without leaving any trace. "Snacks." Qin Yanxi stood up in disgust and walked straight out. "ACI, where are you going?" Ying Sisi was about to chase. "Get some air at the door." Ying Sisi felt relieved and sat down calmly. "Xiaxia, my partner can't understand the dialect here. He doesn't drink. We have something to do in the afternoon and won't eat here, so don't bother. It's a rare visit and I just left like this." "I feel so sorry." Ding Xia's face turned ugly because of her mother-in-law's behavior. "Why are you being polite to me? I really have something to do." Ying Sisi's attitude was sincere. "Hey, next time you come, I will treat you well," Ding Xia promised. "Yes," Ying Sisi responded solemnly, "I have something to say to you in private." She pulled Ding Xia to the kitchen and closed the door. Wang Ma raised her head and looked mysterious. "Is there anything we can't hear?" She motioned to Wang Zhejian to eavesdrop. Wang Zhejian was mindful of the watch on Qin Yanxi's wrist. If he could get it, it would probably be enough for his family's living expenses for several months. He stepped out. "Take this and make a small stove for yourself to make up for it." Ying Sisi took out the meat ticket and said, "It's universal across the country." Ding Xia was so moved that her throat choked up at first because Ying Sisi had some objections to her reservations. "I can't accept it. Your child is young and it's a difficult time. Don't be too uncomfortable with yourself." Ding Xia nodded. "Hey. Dot." The two chatted briefly and walked out of the kitchen. Ying Sisi looked at the door and found that Qin Yanxi had disappeared. She immediately stepped out of the yard and looked around. "ACI, ACI." Qin Yanxi came from the backyard. "Here. I thought you lost it?" Qin Yanxi smiled but said nothing. At this time, Wang Zhejian followed from behind. His body was covered with thorns from the thorn grass, and he covered his waist and screamed, "It hurts me so much, it hurts me so much." "What did you do?" Wang Ma stepped forward distressedly and pulled out the needles from Wang Zhejian's clothes and trousers. "While I was draining the water, I suddenly stumbled. I said, 'Brother, you didn't give me a hand.'" Wang Zhejian was full of resentment. Ying Sisi only translated the last sentence. Qin Yanxi's lips curled up. "I thought you went down to pick something up." This person probably wanted to steal his watch. He went to the back mountain for convenience, and this person also wanted to go. He had to be next to him, and he had to pull his wrist. His wife reminded him that this man had a habit of petty theft. He took precautions in advance and avoided contact with this person. The man fell down the slope. "It's a pity that the terrain is low and I didn't fall to death." Wang Zhejian endured the pain and replied, "Who picks things up with a rolling machine? You look smart, but why do you speak so stupidly?" Ying Sisi couldn't stand others saying that her partner was stupid, so she retorted, "You are not stupid for talking, but it's a pity that you don't have heels and you can fall down whenever you walk." Wang Zhejian. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 236. Wang Ma said, "Sisi, why are you scolding people? Brother Wang first told me about my partner, and now it's even. Don't worry about the affairs between us juniors." Ying Sisi blinked, pretending to be coquettish. Wang Ma choked. "It's getting late, let's go." After Ying Sisi said goodbye to Ding Xia, she left with Qin Yanxi. Wang Zhejian secretly thought it was a pity. If he hadn't fallen and sprained his wrist, he would have left Qin Yanxi behind and got his watch. Ding Xia reluctantly sent the two of them off. "Sisi, when will you come again? Maybe it will have to wait until next year. What's your address? I'll write to you later." Ying Sisi told the other party the address. "Do you remember it?" "Remember." Ding Xia walked to the village entrance before returning. In response to the things that Ying Sisi brought, the family of three and their children ate the snacks that Ying Sisi brought. "Zioxia, come here and try it, these things taste really good." Ding Xia stepped forward and picked up a piece. It was sweet and soft. Delicious. When she finished eating, she took it out. There were no more snacks in the packaging bag. "The rest are for next time." Wang Ma put away the unopened ones, along with the bag containing the clothes. Ding Xia said, "The clothes were given to me by Sisi. Why are you taking care of your children and wearing them so well? I'm going to use these clothes to make money on the street and exchange them for some meat to give the children 2 good meals." Ding Xia pinched the meat ticket in her pocket, and after thinking about it, she took it out. "Sisi gave me the meat ticket, but I can't change my clothes." She put down the meat ticket, took the clothes back to the room. "I tried it on and it was indeed a bit big. But the style is what she likes, and she will save it for relatives to wear in the future. The mountain road is winding and flat." Ying Sisi walked for a while and felt hungry. She took out half a bag of biscuits from her pocket and asked, "Aci, are you hungry?" Qin Yanxi smiled and said, "When did you hide it?" Morning. Ying Sisi's neighbor packed the bag and shared the Qin banquet speech. "Sweeping the grave tomorrow." "Well, in the morning. I have to bring some food. I want to spend the day with my mother there." Ying Sisi thought for a while and said, "Just come back after paying homage. I'll accompany you." Qin Yanxi didn't feel reassured. When a person is sad, his vigilance becomes lower. Her uncle's family is so eager to get benefits from her. If she is not paying attention and bullies her, who will stand up for her? After the two of them got home, Ying Sisi complained to the old lady about Wang Zhejian's family. "I feel sorry for Zioxia. She is so delicate and hard-working, but here is such a man. A man of 23 looks like a man of 33. The old lady showed no sympathy at all. She chose her own path, so who is to blame? If you want to blame her, I can only blame her for listening to Wang Zhejian's sweet words. I'm not talking about you. You and she are not the same people at all. We will have less contact in the future. A waste of time, a waste of energy and money. But she is my best playmate." Ying Sisi cherishes this friendship. "You are the best, but what about others? She is 3 years older than you. Why does she play with you? Because she cannot take advantage of her age when playing with her. You are young and listen to her instructions. She usually lets you. Of course she is willing to go with you to run errands and do farm work. Just like me, I am good to you because I take advantage of your father. If I don't take advantage of it, do you think I can still be good?" The old lady has no scruples. "I'm not talking to you for speculation," Ying Sisi said. "I'm speculating with you. Fortunately, you two changed your clothes today. If you had worn the same clothes back, people would definitely ask you to borrow a lot of money. You look poor, so they might borrow a small amount of money, as little as 3 or 5 yuan, or more 10 bucks. Ying Sisi, I don't believe it. Please vote. The recent transition chapters have been a bit dull. Wow, no one likes to subscribe anymore. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 237. If you don't believe me, try it within 3 days at most. She will definitely come here with fresh spring bamboo shoots dug from the mountain. She said she didn't have anything good to give you, so she went to the mountain to dig some fresh bamboo shoots. Then ask you to borrow money. Perhaps her parents-in-law and the man asked her to come, and it was not her intention, but as long as she comes, it means that she feels that it is best for you to lie. The old lady firmly believes that her vision of people is not wrong. Including Qin Yancy, the cold star all over his body makes it difficult for people to get close to him. Any woman who is not as observant as Sci-fi and who is considerate and coaxing will be beaten if she marries him. We grew up together. I have the most say in Sister Xiaxia's character. Ying Sisi thought she knew Ding Xia. Silly girl, people change. Being a child and growing up are completely different things. Just like brothers, before they get married, they think each other is the most important person in the world after their parents. After getting married, each other's hearts are in each other's hearts. Their status is replaced by the family. Not only do they live their own lives, but they may also live apart from each other for a long time because of the uneven distribution of interests. Of course, there are no absolutes in everything. The old lady reserved some opinions. Ying Sisi's belief was slightly shaken, but she refused to admit it. I would like to see if she came to borrow money as you said. Then just watch. In the afternoon, Ying Sisi took Qin Yancy to dig Polygonum multiflorum, break Platycladus orientalis leaves, and climbed half the mountain to find Polyporus cocos. It is already dark after all the materials are prepared. Qin Yancy walked for a day and finally felt tired, so he took a rest early. Ying Sisi couldn't sleep. After keeping your eyes open for a long time, get up, light a lamp, and go outside to fold ingots. The old lady is a light sleeper due to her age and will wake up at the slightest movement. She pinched her eyebrows, put on her clothes and got out of bed and walked over. "Sisi, you haven't rested yet." "I can't sleep, I woke you up." "Yes, but it doesn't matter." The old lady sat at the square table with Ying Sisi and said, "Since you came back, I dream every day, and I always dream about you getting married. The person you are with is not Yancy. I just dreamed that you were not married to Yancy, but you gave birth to a son to Yancy when you were in your 30s. The child is very smart. He has the same personality as Yancy. He is cold and cold, which makes people afraid. Come on, call your nominal husband old gangster." Ying Sisi chuckled, "Your dream is too outrageous. I have a husband and I'm still with a CI. Doesn't that mean I'm stealing? The scene in the dream is very real. I can't describe how rich you are. The house you live in is bigger and more elegant than the house of the master I used to serve as in Warren. You took me to live in my old age and found 5 or 6 people. He served me personally, and I lived to be 101 years old, and died without any illness." Ying Sisi covered her mouth and smiled. "Yes, it seems that I am very capable in your mind. I am actually richer than the great men of your time. Then I will strive to become the richest person and find 5 or 6 people to serve me. Let you live to be 101 years old." The old lady smiled from ear to ear. "Then I will wait for you." "Yeah. The old man and the young man folded the ingots, cut out the paper money, and went back to their rooms to rest. Early the next morning, the 3 of them went to the cemetery together. As soon as we reached the foot of the mountain, we saw my uncle's family surrounding my mother's tomb. In front of me, an aunt in flashy clothes was singing and dancing. "What are you doing?" Ying Sisi asked loudly. "Sisi, you are finally here. We are praying for your mother." Siequilin stepped forward and held Sisi affectionately. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 238. I pray for your death, Ying Sisi pushed her away and kicked the tributes in front of the tomb far away. As long as I can remember, you haven't even worshipped on the anniversary of your death, and now you're pretending to do it? Siequilin patted her thigh anxiously. Oh my aunt, your mother is enjoying the sacrifice. How can you just kick it? Really? Can you see it? Ying Sisi looked at Siequilin for a while, intending to listen to what the other party would say. I can't see, but the goddess can. Siequilin muttered. Don't blame my sister, don't blame my sister. Sisi is young and ignorant, so don't be angry with her or pester her. The goddess spoke at the right time. Girl, if you have anything to say to your mother, just say it. You asked my mother, why did an uncle named Shen in Yanjing City say that he was an old acquaintance with her? How did they know each other? Was it that Uncle Shen was being polite to trick me, or did he really know her? Shenpo. The dialogue demonstrated on the first day did not have this problem. She looked at Siequilin. Siequilin said, I know this without asking your mother. How do you know your mother? He must be a friend who went to the countryside with your father. He was polite to you just to get along with you. She married into the Ying family when Ying Xian was 14 years old. She knows everyone well. If you don't believe it, Aunt Fang, ask my sister again. Hey, the goddess started to dance. The old lady laughed out loud as she listened to the random remarks and looked at the funny scenes. She restrained herself at first, but gradually she lost control and bent over from laughing. The goddess felt guilty because of her laughter. Her movements gradually lost their original rhythm and paused from time to time. You old woman, you're laughing your off. Siequilin was about to smash the pot, and her voice became sharp and harsh. Why are you following our family's affairs to join in the fun? The old lady suppressed her smile. Why am I joining in the fun? Standing on the roadside and playing, isn't it okay? Did your family dig the road? That's not possible. Stay away from my Sisi home. Siequilin unreasonably took 3 points. Am I close? There were 7 or 8 steps between the old lady and Ying Sisi. Siequilin choked. At this time, the goddess suddenly twitched and fell to the ground, and her strange screams frightened Ying Sisi and the old lady into trembling at the same time. After a while, the goddess opened her eyes and shouted to Sisi as if she was possessed, Xiaobao, my daughter. In a blink of an eye, you are so big. Who is the young man next to you? You are really Xian. He is Sisi's lover. His surname is Qin. He came here to see you today. You don't know how your brother and sister-in-law have treated Sisi over the years. The old lady began to scold Ying Shijian and his wife. No. For example, Ying Shijian likes gambling and steals the money that old man Ying prepares for Sisi to study, causing her to lose the opportunity to receive education. For example, after Mr. Ying and Mrs. Ying passed away, they snatched the house left by the old couple to Sisi. Ying Shijian and Siequilin wanted to stop him. Qin Yanxi stood in front of the old lady. The two of them were so anxious that they jumped up and down. The corners of the goddess's eyes twitched. It is too immoral to bully other girls like this. Taking people's money and doing things for them. She has to continue to pretend to be Sisi's mother. Family love is constantly giving up. Even if my brother is like this, Sisi should still be filial. Sisi, your uncle was very kind to me when I was a child. As my daughter, you should repay him for me. Ouch. Ying Sisi couldn't listen anymore, so she picked up a stone and threw it next to him. The goddess bounced away. Oh my god, I want to kill someone. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 239. Ying Sisi said in a dark voice, didn't you become my mother through channeling? How come you still have your own consciousness? Goddess. Ying Sisi stepped forward, grabbed the opponent's collar and punched him, deceive and kidnap. I will send you to see the village chief. The goddess bared her teeth in pain and quickly begged for mercy. Their profession was inherently shady. They usually pretended to be clever and fooled around to make ends meet. If people knew that they were cheating orphans, how would she be able to survive in the future? I was wrong, I was wrong. It was your uncle and aunt who bribed me and asked me to pretend to be your mother to convey their wishes. Humph. Even if my mother gave me a dream to treat you well, I won't pay attention to you. Ying Sisi let go of her hand, and the goddess didn't even take the tools and ran away. The remaining Ying family members faced Ying Sisi in fear. If you don't want to be beaten, get out of here. Ying Sisi was extremely irritable. It's not enough to make a living even by sweeping graves. Several members of the Ying family left reluctantly. Ying Sisi and the three of them worked together to clean up the mess in front of the tombstone. Take out the prepared sacrifices and arrange them. Ying Sisi then formally introduced Qin Yanxi and mentioned all the good qualities of Qin Yanxi, which made the old lady doubt her ears. Is there such a perfect man in the world? At any rate, she has never encountered him before at her age. The memorial ceremony is over. The old lady went back. Ying Sisi stayed in front of the tomb, chattering about what happened after entering the city, while Qin Yanxi patiently guarded her. At dusk, Ying Sisi walked home with a heavy heart. The old lady has already prepared the meal and is waiting. Grandma, thank you for your hard work, she said. It's already made, just heat it up. Why bother, the old lady said about Ying Shijian. When I left, your uncle and his whole family blocked me at the foot of the mountain and scolded me a lot of unpleasant words. Okay. When the village chief passes by, if I hadn't even given you hot meals today, I might not even be able to get home. Ying Sisi slapped the table. I will avenge you later. Farewell, I just want to tell you so that you can sympathize with me. Ying Sisi's heavy heart eased slightly and she smiled. Well, I sympathize with you, and I feel sorry for you even more. In the next 2 days, Ying Sisi focused on cooking the hair growth cream. The final product exuded a strong herbal smell, which made people have difficulty breathing. Why didn't the 2 bottles I bought have this smell? Qin Yanxi, they added flavor, but you didn't. Ying Sisi said, but the smell of polyporous is quite good. It's not just polyporous. Let's go to the site tomorrow and buy some tools. I'll make some for you and try it, Qin Yan said. Ying Sisi was filled with admiration. You can also make essence, that's amazing. A smile appeared on Qin Yanxi's lips. I have learned distillation and purification in chemistry. What flavor do you like? Come on, the knotweed flower. There is one in the back mountain. You can get it locally. Grandma said that she has been dreaming these days, so she washes her hair with knotweed to prevent dreams from disturbing her sleep. Ying Sisi came closer and pecked his face. I'm sorry to bother you. He is so kind. He doesn't feel bored even if she follows her around all the time. The old lady coughed. What are you doing in broad daylight? You peeked. Ying Sisi blushed. It's almost blinding me. Ying Sisi lowered her head in embarrassment. The next day, Ying Sisi borrowed a bicycle from the team and went into the city. She and Qin Yanxi traveled almost all over the county and finally bought the utensils and tools needed for distillation. After returning to the village, return the car. Hurry to the small courtyard quickly. Before entering the courtyard, I heard Ding Xia's voice. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 240. She felt guilty. It's not like the old lady expected that she came here to borrow money, right? After stepping into the yard, the old lady saw her first and blinked, as if to say, I was right, Ding Xia is really here. Your sister Xiaxia is looking for you. Ying Sisi turned her eyes and saw Ding Xia wearing the clothes she bought. holding her child in her arms and looking at her with a smile. While I was talking about you, Grandma Zhu said that you went into the city. What did you buy? Ding Xia looked at the cloth bag in Qin Yanxi's hand. Qin Yanxi nodded slightly as a greeting and then entered the room. Ying Sisi moved a stool by herself and sat next to the old lady. I'm buying some daily necessities. Why do I have time to come here today? Ding Xia pointed to the spring bamboo shoots next to her. I just dug them this morning, so I gave you some specially. Ying Sisi looked at the old lady in shock. The old lady raised her chin proudly. Oh, thank you, Ying Sisi said. Ding Xia bit her lip and stopped talking. Hunting for Ying Sisi to see what she had to say, Ying Sisi's eyes were attracted by Qin Yanxi, who walked out of the room. ACI, what are you doing? Take a rest. You rest, I'll go to the back mountain to chop some firewood. He picked up the hatchet and left. Ding Xia said with envy, your partner is so hard-working, unlike the one in my family who lies at home all day long. Old lady, you are interested in me, who is your fault? Ding Xia choked, if I could choose again, I would definitely choose someone who is diligent. Ying Sisi said, you should be tougher yourself. If a man is lazy, just fight him and subdue him by force. Not everyone is as strong as you, Ding Xia said helplessly. Ying Sisi thought, how strong can a man who sleeps at home all day long have? Even if a man is strong, he will always sleep. If he is while the other person is sleeping and beaten with a stick, can he still become strong? Then you'll just have to live with it. Life is hard, hey, the old lady said half sarcastically. Ding Xia didn't hear it and said with tears, isn't it true? Sisi, I have something to say to you alone. She pulled Ying Sisi to a remote place. Sisi, are you rich? If possible, I would like to borrow 5 yuan from you. When you come back next time, I will definitely pay it back to you. Ying Sisi's head was buzzing. Ding Xia's words and deeds today were exactly the same as what the old lady said. She has always been very proud of herself when it comes to observing people, and she actually made a mistake. She refused openly and said, Sister Xiaxia, I'm sorry, I don't have much money with me when I go out this time, so I don't have enough money to lend you. Ding Xia didn't expect that Ying Sisi would disagree. She didn't borrow much. I don't have 5 yuan, how about 3 yuan? The family is really having some difficulties recently. When she said this, she looked slightly evasive. Originally she couldn't open her mouth, but Wang Zhejian used the money she had saved to drink. Today I said that there will be a personal relationship at home tomorrow, but now I don't have a penny. Ask her to find Sister Ying Sisi, because Ying Sisi is married to a man from the city. The man also wears a watch, so the condition must be good. Moreover, Ying Sisi lives in the city and cannot come back for a few dollars and will not press them to pay back. Over time, the debt will be settled by itself. She had no other choice but to agree. I can't take it out. Whatever I can give to you, I gave it to you when I went to your house that day. The child's red envelope should be enough to meet the needs, Ying Sisi said. There is 50 cents in a red envelope. In the countryside, you can buy half a bowl of soy sauce and half a bowl of vinegar for 10 cents. $1 saved can feed the whole family for several days. Please vote.